Have you ever wondered what drives the decisions you make every day? Why you sometimes act without thinking, or why your emotions can seem like they're in control of your actions? Well, you're not alone. In today's video, we're diving into 10 fascinating psychology facts about human behavior that will completely change how you see yourself and the people around you. Here's a truth most people don't realize. You're not always in control. Yes, many of your actions and decisions are governed by subconscious patterns you aren't even aware of. And trust me, once you understand how these psychological forces work, you'll be shocked by how much of your life has been influenced by them, without you even knowing. The human mind is a mysterious thing. Sometimes we think we understand why we act the way we do, but the truth is often much more complicated. Today I'm going to share some mind-blowing facts that explain why humans do the things they do. Why do we behave the way we do in social situations? Why do we sometimes act out of character or react to certain triggers in ways we can't fully explain? As we break down these facts, you'll start to uncover hidden truths about your own behavior that you may not have realized before. And by the end of this video, you'll have a completely new perspective on human psychology. Prepare to be surprised, and maybe even a little bit uncomfortable, because these psychology facts aren't just interesting, they might just change the way you view yourself. So let's get started with the first fact, one that may just explain why you act the way you do when faced with stress. Now let's dive deeper into these 10 psychology facts about human behavior. These facts are not just theoretical, they are backed by science and have profound implications on how we live our daily lives. We'll explore why certain actions, behaviors, and decisions seem to be wired into us as human beings. 1. The power of first impressions. Humans are wired to make snap judgments about people within seconds of meeting them. This is because our brains are designed to assess threats and opportunities quickly. The first impression you give can set the tone for how you are perceived for a long time, even though these judgments are often based on superficial factors like appearance, body language, or even the tone of your voice. So, the next time you meet someone new, keep in mind that your initial impressions might not be as accurate as you think, but they'll likely stick with you, at least for a while. 2. Cognitive dissonance. Why we lie to ourselves. We all experience moments of conflict between our beliefs and actions. It's called cognitive dissonance, and it explains why we sometimes justify our bad decisions. When faced with actions that contradict our values, our mind goes into overdrive, trying to reduce that discomfort. It's why you might justify staying up late despite knowing you need rest for work, or why someone can continue unhealthy habits despite the obvious consequences. This disconnect can be both frustrating and enlightening when we start to see it in our own lives. Understanding cognitive dissonance helps explain why people often stick with decisions that are clearly not in their best interest. The halo effect, why we're all judged on one trait. Ever met someone and immediately thought they were likable, successful, or attractive? It's no coincidence. This is known as the halo effect. We tend to assume that one positive trait of a person means they have many other positive qualities. This means if someone is physically attractive or charming, we often assume they're also kind, intelligent, and trustworthy. But the reality is, a single characteristic should not define how we view an entire person. The halo effect can lead to biases in everything from hiring decisions to friendships. The influence of social proof. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where everyone else was doing something, and without thinking, you joined in? It's a classic example of social proof, which is when we look to others to guide our own behavior. Whether it's choosing a restaurant, voting for a political candidate, or deciding which products to buy, we often rely on the choices of others to make our own decisions. This is a deeply ingrained part of human behavior, and it's why companies use social proof in advertising. If everyone else is doing it, you'll want to do it too. 5. The illusion of control. As humans, we like to believe that we have control over our environment and our fate. However, the illusion of control is a psychological phenomenon where we overestimate our ability to influence events. Have you ever picked a lottery number thinking you'd be more likely to win? Or tried to predict the outcome of a coin flip by feeling lucky? This need for control can be comforting, but it also leads to irrational behavior as we misinterpret patterns and create false narratives to explain random events. 6. The bystander effect. Why we don't help others in emergencies. If you've ever witnessed an emergency or witnessed someone in need and done nothing, you've experienced the bystander effect. It's a social, psychological phenomenon where individuals are less likely to offer help when others are present. The more people who witness an emergency, the less likely anyone is to intervene. This is because each person feels less responsibility to act, assuming someone else will take charge. The bystander effect explains why, in critical moments, people can stand by and do nothing, despite knowing that help is desperately needed. 7. The scarcity principle. Why we want. What we can't have. Humans are naturally attracted to things that are scarce or difficult to obtain. This is called the scarcity principle, and it's why limited time offers or rare items are so desirable. When something becomes scarce, it increases its perceived value. Think of how many people are attracted to an exclusive event or a limited edition product. We've been conditioned to believe that things we can't have are worth more. This principle has an incredible impact on consumer behavior and even relationships, as people are often drawn to unavailable individuals simply because they seem more desirable. 8. Confirmation bias. Why we only believe what we want to believe. Ever find yourself only listening to news sources that align with your own opinions or seeking out information that confirms your beliefs? This is called confirmation bias. It's the tendency to search for, interpret, and remember information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs. This bias affects everything from political views to health advice. It's easy to ignore information that contradicts our beliefs, and even more so when it fits perfectly into our narrative. But this bias limits our growth and can reinforce harmful stereotypes or incorrect views. 9. The Pygmalion effect. How expectations shape behavior. Have you ever been told you'd do well at something, and then you actually did? Or perhaps you were expected to fail and found yourself struggling. This phenomenon is known as the Pygmalion effect, the idea that expectations influence performance. When others believe in us and have high expectations, we're more likely to succeed. On the flip side, if someone has low expectations of us, we often perform poorly, not because we are incapable, but because we internalize those expectations. This shows just how powerful belief, whether positive or negative, can be in shaping our behavior and outcomes. The power of body language. Did you know that up to 93% of communication is non-verbal? That's right. Body language plays a massive role in human interactions. How we position our bodies, our facial expressions, and the way we move can reveal a lot about our thoughts and emotions. The subtle ways we communicate through body language often contradict what we say out loud. Understanding this can be incredibly empowering, whether you're trying to influence someone's opinion or just trying to better understand those around you. As we explored these 10 psychology facts, it becomes clear that human behavior is a lot more complex than we initially think. From first impressions to body language, and from our biases to the influence of others, our minds are constantly at work, guiding us in ways we may not fully comprehend. Understanding these psychological principles not only gives us deeper insight into our own behavior, but also opens our eyes to how others interact with us. By the end of this video, you might find yourself reflecting on your actions more critically, questioning the reasons behind the choices you make. Psychology isn't just an academic subject. It's a key to understanding yourself and the people around you.